Alright, in this video I'm going to show you some of the tricks which can be applied on, or it is available on Gentoo. I'm expecting when you are following or applying, you are supposed to sit on Gentoo Linux. Okay, so these tips are specifically for them. These are very handy stuff. Okay, that's why I thought to make this video to, or if you already know about it, never mind the second time. Okay, so those who don't know it, they'll come to know about it. So without further ado, let me get into a terminal. And the first thing I want to show, say for instance, Gentoo also have a package, and which is managed by a package manager called emerge. So for any specific reason, you need to know a specific package information. You could do so by doing e package info, that's a binary, and you need to provide the, say I want to know about GCC, press enter. See, it's so easy, right? It will enlist you all the specific package related information under your fingertips. All you have to do, call up the binary e package info, then the package name. Okay, so it will enlist you, you can see. Okay, fine. So e package info is the binary name. Okay, you can alias it to in your shell if you want to be more explicit. Just write package info to alias to this binary e package info, so it will be easier for you to remember or type. Okay, the next thing is that I wanted to see what are the how much time it took when it bring down GCC or whatever the package you mentioned in the system while merging it. Okay, there is a tool called Genlop. Okay, GENLOP, which will take several so this is the tool. Okay, as you can see, there are several flags associated with that. Okay, so I'm going to see one of them. So if I wanted to know genlop t GCC, okay, so it requires super user privilege to read the log file. See, it shows you when did you get that package and how much time does it take to bring it, build and install it in your system. It's a very informative and nice thing. So you can query any damn package whichever you have emerged into the system. Okay, so you can see that, so you can assess the timing out of it. Okay, nice cool thing. Likewise, while doing the update to the system, you can pipe it like this. If you write emerge puv ud, okay, and then you pipe it to so if in this command, because I have recently only yesterday evening. I update my whole system. If I run this command right now, it doesn't produce anything because my system is up to date right now, because I recently, few hours back only, I finished updating my system, so nothing will be there. Because I tried it few minutes back and it doesn't spit out anything, so it will not. But this is the syntax if you wanted to know what would be the time the entire update to the system will take. So it will allow you to schedule your stuff, right? So this is a handy way to know beforehand how much time it is going to gobbles up. Okay, and it certainly took so much time on my machine and connection. It depends on your what sort of machine you are sitting on and what is the connection you have. It varies machine to machine and connection to connection, but it's a good indicator that how much time it will take, so you can schedule your other task according to that if you wanted to do that. Okay, all right. Now, say there are so many packages which now there is a trick. It is very widely known and it has got an explicit page on the Gentoo wiki, which is called Portrait Tips and Tricks. Out of there somewhere I read many months ago and applied to my system. I thought it will be useful to you, that's why I'm preaching it out to you. So I have a line like this in my FS tab. Right. Temp FS to etc FS tab. See, as you can see from there, I'm clearly mounting a temporary FS, okay, on those particular directories. You see temp and temp portrait as a temp FS file. So what it does when you run the emerge world update, essentially to update the entire system, the particular directory is already sitting on a temp FS. That means it is residing on your RAM instead of the disk. So fetching something, building something in RAM is always faster than doing it on the disk, right? So this is extremely fast compared to disk fetching and doing all this stuff. So but it depends on you how much memory, how much RAM do you have in your system, and you are going to push your system to the limit. If you misconfigured it, it might clog up your system. And these things will certainly speed up the emerge, okay, package building, package download, all this stuff. And but as I said, it has got a limitation. It depends on your actual physical memory. I have assigned some part of memory, total memory. You are not supposed to assign all the RAM or all the memory, okay? So why it is required? Because you don't want your system to be gobbles up by a single process, because there might be other program also running. They are looking out for a piece of memory to operate on. So that's why wisely or judiciously allocate portrait or temp FS in this case temp refers to a certain amount of memory which is dedicated to the portage functionality. Okay, so while the system is doing update to your system, so you'll be able to do other stuff on the system too if you judiciously allocate the memory or RAM to this particular functionality. So that's what I did. You can see I have specifically mentioned one chunk of memory size. You can see the size variable, it is assigned to 6 gig. That's what I can afford on my machine right now. Rest of the machine rest of the memory capacity I left it for the other task has to be performed. I probably browsing, I probably doing other CPU intensive stuff or memory related stuff. Those those percentage are reserved for that. Okay, so my point is that when you assign this kind of stuff, you make sure how much you need and what are you going to do simultaneously. Do not assign entire memory or RAM to a particular process. Then the chances will be high that if it takes too much, if the package is big enough, then it will entirely clogged up your RAM or memory, so the system get freezed. So you won't be able to do anything else, which is not a situation we want to delve into. So judiciously apply all this stuff, whatever. But this is a way, if you put your specific these directories where portage will look into and do all this stuff, so it will certainly speed up the stuff. Okay, because it will be in memory rather than fetching it from the disk. Now there is a also apart from this, and also related to there is a mechanism which is if you find out that particular page in Gentoo wiki, please go through that. But before you go, let me show you, there is a mechanism they also mention. So portage generally check if the package is big enough, it will check the disk space, that if it is good enough disk space is available, then only it will go and build the system. The big packages like LibreOffice, like Firefox, like Chrome, like GCC, like all the big packages which require considerable amount of disk space, and portage is smart enough, when it started to build all those packages, it calculated the disk space for a certain amount of space. If it didn't find, it will not going to do that. So in RAM, because we put this specific directory which is manipulated by the portage in a RAM and memory in our system are very constrained and limited compared to disk space. So we certainly cannot take the risk to build big package inside the RAM, right? So we have to go back to disk to build those big packages on the disk itself. Got it, right? This mechanism, what you are seeing on the screen, it is on RAM. So small and moderate package can build lightningly fast because it happen all in the memory. But the big package requirement more space on the disk, so we have to fall back somewhere so the big packages can be built properly without getting filled. Because if you started to build the big package inside the RAM, sooner or later this bound will going to fail if you are not having an exceptional large quantity of RAM, which is very uncommon to normal user consumable machine like laptop or desktop. Okay, so standard process is to move the big packages to some location in the disk from where Portage can build, and it should sense, as I said, Portage is smart enough, it can calculate how much disk space is required to building the package, because essentially these two directory word temp and word temp Portage will going to be initially hold the packages while building it. Okay, hope I'm making this very clear, right? It is not complicated. We need to make the Portage build faster. That's why we put this particular directory as a temp in the, these things happens in the memory. Okay, for small package and more medium sized package, it is wonderful and it builds very fast because it's doing in the memory. But for big packages, we need to fall back to much slower disk. Okay, so there is a mechanism they said on this particular package, which is, let me show you. Cat, it is a Portage env. You need to create a file. It is not supposed, see the name notempfs.conf. okay, it should be reside under etc Portage env notempfs.conf. This is the path of the file, and if I press enter, see, this is the variable you have to provide inside this file. It clearly written Portage temp tier, which is where you need to provide a space, directory space, which is called notempfs explicitly, because it's not going to be in the tempfs. So the name is explicit enough to suggest you that, but you need to provide a location where the space are bigger, probably on a disk, so Portage can find out and do the stuff for you for big package. Here there is also you need to write a file package env in the Portage. As you can see, etc Portage package.env. you need to, if this file is not already there, you need to create that, and you need to put all the big packages to go into the notempfs location. Okay, so if I press enter, you can see this particular file I have enlisted few packages, okay, which are considered B, and lot of the packages in this file I do not bother to get into my system. Once upon a time it was in my system, but I remove it because I do not need it. You might need it, so I just enlisted all the big package which takes some time to build and takes space to build. Okay, so you are supposed to put all this package like this in this particular file, etc Portage package.env. okay, and you need to give the config file, which you can see on the top of the screen, that I have enlisted that file, which is contain a single line called Portage temp tier and the location of the file. I have a directory on my home folder which is having enough space. So if I decided to build one of them, except GCC is nothing in my system, none of the package in my system. I have enlisted it for your reference. So most of the people, they might have other packages too. So to build the package through a merge, it takes some space, so that you need to designate a particular directory where Portage put these particular big packages and build from there instead of building from RAM, right? So it will enhance your experience on emerging stuff on Gentoo. These are the tricks you can certainly employ to get the best out of it. Okay, and this is very, very effective, believe me. I've been using it for years, and it gave me rich benefit, as I said it to my other videos again and again. I do not have a fatty machine, so when you are constrained by some sort of uh, some sort of uh, what I say. So if your environment is constrained, you need to find a way to make things uh, go smooth. So Gentoo developers has given the opportunity to do that. I'm saying it again, there is a clear cut page which says portage tips and tricks. You should go out in the wild or in the gentoo.org to find out that page. They have clearly mentioned to what you should do to make your emerge experience better. Also, which I'm not going to show, but I can preach it from top of my head, that you can nice it or renice it the specific portage functionality, so it can take precedence over other trivial tasks on the system. While updating the system, it might help you to quicken things up. Okay, and this is very important. I believe I made it very clear. And these are the location. You can pause the video and look for the location and the content of the file at this moment. So this screen is there for some time now in this video as I'm explaining to you. So you can pause it on the particular section to look into the structure. Okay, and if you listen to the commentary what I did, it will benefit you. Okay, so you can search for any package in the system with the tool called EIX. Okay, and if you give it a name, see this many things it will return. If you give EIX and then the name, I should have said EIX and the name probably what, Esirot or what, something like that. See, it will enlist you. The I stands for it is already installed in the system. Okay, so likewise it will enlist you. Like if you see my previous ECC EIX GCC, you can see it will show you a number of things related to that particular package which might be installed. If something is not installed, you won't see the I next to it. Okay, as you can see on this page. Okay, this is a very handy tool. It is called EIX. Okay, the similar thing can be done with emerge, but it might take a little more time. Like if I do emerge capital S and small s, and then if I do GCC, and it will take some time, which is not as fast as EIX is. Okay, you can see it is taking time, right? Although it will enlist you the same content what EIX did it, what you saw. Okay, it taking so much time. So, but this is the alternative way. You either found it out as a emerge hyphen capital S and small s, then the package name, or EIX package name, whatever the way you like. Okay, there is also a package, also a binary called eQuery, and it took a single letter stuff Like if I wanted to know what are the files involved in GCC, we have to pass it like this: equery. I misspelled it. Let me. Okay, you can alias it in your shell script initialization file to anything what is memorable to you, and you have to pass the single letter, either F or where. I'll show you what are the stuff it will take, but that would be a single letter argument, then the package name. You understood, right? eQuery is a binary which will take a single letter argument and then the package name. If I do eQuery, what are the file involved in GCC package? If I press enter, see, it will show you what are the package it is inflated with GCC. Pretty handy, right? Say for instance, eqryf sc dot. I'm just randomly choosing a package, whatever at this moment coming into my mind. Sorry, I misspelled it. See, this specific package involves this many files, and it will clearly show you where the files reside. Super handy. So if I do, you can see, look at the bottom of the, it has a designated one letter stuff, right? So it will provide you all the information. If I can show you, I have something in my, you can see, right? I just show you the files. You can list the other stuff and you can see all these things. All you have to do, one letter argument you need to pass to the eQuery. This is a very handy tool. Okay, so let me show you if I have got something in my shell initialization file. I certainly have. If I can type today, see, this many things I have aliased in my shell initialization file. You can see, and clearly explicitly written description on the right hand side, right? So all I have to do, I have to mention the alias to get the stuff. So this is a very handy tool, eQuery, which will take a single letter argument and the package name to provide you all the information if you wanted to see something quick in your system. With the help of this kind of, these tools are very useful and very beneficial too. So give it a try, and make, as you see, I have made some alias. It's a suggestion. If you do not want to remember, wanted to quickly access something, we generally alias something, right? Or if that is very complicated things you want to achieve with this, you probably do it with write a small 3-4 line contains a function. Again, that function can be inducted in your shell initialization file, whether you use ZSH or you use bash or you use some other shell. There must be an initialization file. You could put all these aliases, all this customized function. I do have, if you check out my shell initialization file, which is hosted in GitHub under .files repo, so you should have get a lot of stuff in my .file which are customized according to my need. If you look at them, you probably enhance it yourself. because whatever I put in that my initialization file, which is good enough for me and done the job for me, so that's why I wrote it like that. Okay, so the point here I'm making, that you could have done or use this kind of tool which is already provided to you, so it makes your experience on Gentoo much smoother. I could have go on and on and on. There are other tools also, and I don't want to clobber your head with more information than you can gobbles up or understand at once. Though I restrict my presentation in this video to a certain amount of tool. I have shown you 3-4 tools, right? And the tricks what you are supposed to do. This is good enough for some sort of enhancements once you are get comfortable enough, enhance enough. While doing all this stuff, you will discover some other stuff also, which will add benefit to your cause. So I thought it will be useful to some people who are day-to-day basis sitting on Gentoo. I do. This is my primary OS. I do sit on, don't get me wrong, I run 4 different distros. Slackware, Gentoo, Debian and Arch, and most of my time spent on this particular OS, and it's for ages. So when you are sitting and when your environment is concerned, you find a way to get things quickly available or efficient way or elegant way. So there will be a constant quest to get the environment where you operate on day-to-day basis should be well enhanced and well equipped. Okay, so that's what I did, that's what I constantly do. So this video is for them, so those who are sitting on Gentoo for some time and wanted to enhance or haven't done so, they might get benefited out of it. Okay, so I hope this will be useful to some people. Thanks for watching.